All right, so welcome officially to the Zoom room. So great to see you both, and great little lead-in discussion we had. So
thank you, Jono. Lane.
Yeah, good discussion.
Have a look at today's teaching in our email, and that'll lead us into the lesson. We've already discussed a lot of the principles of really the subtleties of it, isn't it? Because that's the important thing, that you can actually apply this in your life. I think too often a teaching like this, I will not value what is valueless, kind of freaks people out a bit, and they go, this is too much. It's too full on for me. So rather let me just retreat back into the ego's domain, because I can't handle this. But actually, if it was just interpreted correctly for them, then they would realize that they can handle it. That it's actually, well, okay, and this is a much better way of dealing with it. Okay, so let me share my screen with you. Got it. Okay, share screen. All right. So if you can read that quote, Kim, for us, please.
If anyone wants to come after me, he must deny himself and take up his cross and follow me. For whoever wants to save his life will lose it, but whoever loses his life for my sake will find it. What will it profit a man if he gains the whole world, yet he forfeits his soul? Or what can a man give in exchange for his soul?
So that's quite a famous quote from Gospel of Matthew. Often quoted, often misunderstood, because most people don't understand the meaning of deny himself and take up his cross. Those are the key points. What does it mean to deny yourself? To deny yourself doesn't mean you should fast or become an ascetic. It does mean you should give up your separate identity. That's what he means. Deny your separate self. How do I do this, you might ask? Well, one of the quickest ways, Jeshua highlights in this quote, is to let go of the egoic desires for things and experiences in this world. So these seem to offer you the whole world and a strong sense of identity in that world, but in fact, cost you the awareness of your soul, because they keep your mind preoccupied with expectations and grievances when your expectations aren't met, and away from the love that is your soul's true nature. The gateway to another world, a reality of perfect love and light beyond this one. So when Yeshua had his mystical experience in the desert, it's recorded he went in and he had three kind of visions. And final vision was the devil lifted him up and said, I'll give you all the kingdoms of the world, power, dominion over all of this. And Yeshua turned his back and said, no, I don't want this world. I don't want worldly power. I only want God. I want pure formless awareness of perfect love. I want the kingdom of heaven and not this. And so that was his test. He was tempted by the ego, and he let it go. And he was never tempted after that, because people wanted him to be some kind of worldly leader, and they said, you king of the Jews, and you're going to lead us to freedom from the Romans. We want to make you some kind of king. And it could have been very tempting to say, yeah, okay, I'll go for that. But he didn't, because he knew that, any form of worldly power was just an illusion. He went for the kingdom of heaven, and he lived that in alignment with that. So purely that, he's become the way show for everyone to find, live that way and ultimately find that same state. And then 500 years before Yeshua lived, the Buddha noticed that desire or craving for any material thing or experience in this world is the cause of all suffering. because nothing in this world will last. So at some point you will feel disappointed, an emotion which the Buddha called aversion. Yeshua calls it grievance. Of Course in Miracles, modern spiritual teachers like Eckhart Tolle, we call it resistance. Whatever you call it, resistance, a grievance, aversion, it's the same thing. Whatever you call the cycle of expectation and grievances, you only have to look the state of our greed-obsessed world to see clearly that doesn't make anyone happy. And it's certainly not love. Which brings us to considering the second part of today's quote that most people don't understand, which is what does it to take up one's cross really mean? So it means to look honestly at those false beliefs that block our awareness of love's presence, as Yeshua puts it in the introduction to the text. We so often try to run away from in life. Taking up our cross means bringing our desires and grievances and everything else that hurts us, which is what the cross symbolizes, to the light of our true, i.e. pure formless awareness to be released. And so it's to bring everything, all the blocks, to this awareness. So this quote is just another call to forgive or let go and allow life to unfold or flow in a miraculous way. It will make you happy, and the worldly desires and expectations of the ego or belief in separation just pale into insignificance by comparison. Letting go allows you to restore your mind to a peaceful state when it's been disturbed by anything. So it restores what I call your foundational happiness, the ground of being, a state of calm centeredness, where it's okay. You can accept whatever's seemingly happened because you realize it's not real. So you're still okay. You're still rooted in your true awareness. That's what acceptance really means. You can act in a way that's not self-seeking. So you're not seeking pleasure or avoiding pain. You're not caught up in the cycle of expectations and grievances, in other words. And if action is required, you take whatever action is necessary. From that foundation, you may find genuine joy arising spontaneously. When you do, you can really get in the flow, you're loving it, it's enjoyable. But if not, you're okay. You're still foundationally happy. You're not unhappy. There's no unhappiness, no dissatisfaction or dukkha, as the Buddha called it. It's just, yes, there's foundational happiness, there's an underlying peace. I may not be ecstatic, but I'm happy, I'm at peace, I'm contented. So in that line, in that vein, if you haven't watched this documentary, I recommend watching it. It's really about desire, sort of fatal desire in the world, and why everyone's seemingly controlled by their insatiable desire for more. And this is the lie behind the materialist consumer society. And what they highlight in that is that we're seeking some kind of permanence. We're seeking something in this world that we can latch onto. It will give us some kind of meaning, sense of permanent meaning and significance. And so we attach to form. And of course, form can't do that because it's temporary. So what we're actually seeking for is the eternal. We're seeking to transcend the illusion of death. But actually, the materialist way of life and seeking things outside of you is just a part of the death wish, part of the ego's thought system of sacrifice and death, which I think was clearly highlighted in this documentary. So well worth watching. And that brings us to today's live session, which we're in, and the next stage of that is the lesson. So I will not value what is valueless. Very simple. They're all simple, aren't they? It doesn't need any translation. It speaks for itself. I will not value what is valueless. Okay, so you can read that first paragraph. That was Kim. Just reading the alternatives. There's nothing to translate.
Sometimes in learning, there is benefit, particularly after I have gone through what seems theoretical and far from what I have already learned. to bring myself back to practical concerns. This I will do today. I will not consider lofty, world-encompassing ideas, but dwell instead on the benefits to me.
Okay, so nice intro. What's he saying there in summary?
So I think what he's saying with the course, sometimes there's, in terms of the maybe texts and lessons, it's kind of broad and very high level thinking or training, whereas this is supposed to be a more practical lesson. That's my interpretation.
Yeah, well, instead on benefits to me. So he's saying, okay, so let's get out of the metaphysics for a while and just take it down to, okay, so, you know, what does this do for me? What will this thought system do for me? What are the benefits?
I interpret that as would be on a practical sense, day to day.
Yeah. So
Oh,
what does this offer me? What does this offer me on a day-to-day, hourly basis? Well, it says let's consider that. Because if it doesn't work on that basis, then it's probably not going to work on a lofty, world-encompassing basis, is it? It's got to be practical and actually work in your life.
Yeah.
It's taking it down to that level. Okay, so number 2, Lane.
I do not ask too much of life, but far too little. When I let my mind be drawn to bodily concerns, to things I buy, to eminence as valued by the world, I ask for sorrow, not for happiness. This course does not attempt to take from me the little that I have. It does not try to substitute Utopian. Oh.
Utopian. So
Utopian. Oh, sorry,
utopia
I need to
is this kind of
I've heard it before. Yes. Sorry, it just looked like plan, but
state of perfect bliss or something where you go, everything is in utopia is perfect.
Yeah, I have heard it before.
Yeah.
Substitute utopian ideas for satisfactions which the world contains. There are no satisfactions in the world.
Okay, so what's he saying there?
Well, we think that we're going to give the little that we have got up if we take this path, when in actual fact there's nothing we're giving up. All we give, it's going to give everything. It's going to take all sorrow and unhappiness away. And it's not going to take from us at all. The opposite.
Yeah, so you're not really sacrificing anything.
No.
As he says in this, where were we? Let's just find the correct one. Christmas is the end of sacrifice. I who believe that sacrifice is love must learn that sacrifice is separation from love. So in our delusion, we believe that perfect love is a sacrifice because we're losing things that are value. We must learn that sacrifice is separation from love and nothing more. That in order to have love, we must then, quote, sacrifice or let go of the ego and its world. And that's not really a sacrifice. We're actually letting go of the sacrifice. To sacrifice a sacrifice is not to sacrifice. You see?
Yeah.
It's to let go of the idea of all sacrifice and embrace the truth again.
Yeah.
So instead of all the concerns and the petty concerns and trying to find happiness in the world, saying just recognize that there are no satisfactions in the world. Nothing here is going to make you permanently happy. There are no true satisfactions. There are no real satisfactions. Let's put real in there. So you might have a temporary, oh, I have a piece of cake. Oh, I know. And then what? It's over so quickly. You eat the cake and then it's gone. Sensation's gone. And then you're left with the, residual. Oh, now I've got a sugar high and I've put on some weight.
Uploaded.
Yeah. So it's
Yeah.
very temporary. Is that really a satisfaction? He's saying, no, it's not a real satisfaction, if you're honest. You satisfy temporary craving, and then it's over very, very
It's
quickly.
moderation, isn't it? You can have a cake.
Gone.
Yeah, but you don't have to have the whole cake. You can have a slice.
No, but if you realize it's very temporary, why even bother? Why even go? It's like, I don't need the cake because I'm already in bliss. I'm already, completely contented, you see.
But if it's been offered to you and it's a gift from somebody, then you honor that gift.
And maybe the Buddha would go into people's households and he would eat whatever food they gave him, whether it was meat or vegetarian. An illusion that Buddhists say he was vegetarian. The Buddha wasn't vegetarian. He ate whatever was served because he wasn't attached to food. It was more about the connection and the love. So he didn't want to go into people's homes and say, oh, well, I'm the great Buddha. You've got to make a special vegetarian meal for me. Because that was not what he was teaching. It was like humility. He was a beggar. He said, well, whatever comes, I'm grateful for. So, in fact, he died of food poisoning. He ate some rotten meat. It's recorded. Quite interesting. So not valuing anything in the world, not seeing any real satisfaction there. Just going the meal for a master. A meal's not about the food. The meal's about the connection. He would go and he would have dinner with people, but it was a joining. It was a connection. You saw the same with Yeshua. There's a lot of joining with his disciples and groups of people, and wherever he went, he brought this lovely presence of love and peace and joy with him, and there was connection and there was sharing, and people felt that, and so they were attracted to him. They're like, okay, this guy brings a really good vibe with him.
So there's love in the food, but there's a big difference between McDonald's than a lovely dish that's been prepared from organic. It's from the pure soil. So there's a big difference.
Is love. The difference is love.
Yeah.
A home cooked meal where someone's really poured themselves into it and given their love into it,
or you
will taste different from a mass produced.
McDonald's.
Apart from the ingredients. You could have a burger similar to McDonald's, but made with love. It would taste different because it's the love that's the secret ingredient. No. So he's just trying to reorient us and say, look, the only thing that has value is love, and love is everywhere in the world. So you can see it everywhere, but you must let go of seeking outside of yourself for these satisfactions, which you think the world offers you. It offers you nothing. And he's telling us very straight. Because if I think it offers me something, I'll continue seeking. And if I keep seeking where I won't find the answer, then I'm never going to find it. And then I'm the continual seeker and never find the truth. And his objective is to help us to be finders, not seekers. It's got to say, okay, enough.
Well,
enough of
madness.
Stop it.
It's not so much the seeking. It's just nice to have a surprise, something that just surprises you. Like when I went into the kitchen, into the cafeteria with all those lovely, delicious dishes, and I had so much choice. It was such a nice surprise.
Okay. The biggest surprise, Elaine, is not informed. The biggest surprise is love. That unconditional love is
the
there.
staff. So the love from the staff who prepared that lovely food gave me such a nice surprise.
And then what makes it special is the love.
From the staff who cooked
Yeah.
it all.
That's really always the case. You think of let's talk about the hospitality industry. What makes it a unique experience is the service that goes with it.
Yeah.
It might be delicious food, but it's delicious because of the love and the attention and the care that's been poured into it by the cook and the whole staff and the whole experience. And if people genuinely go out of their way to serve you and give you a great experience, you appreciate that because there's a love there.
Yeah, I did. I would highly recommend
and the best
them.
businesses operate on an unconditionally loving principle. They seek to give value to their customers first and foremost. Okay, so let's give people a happy experience. Let's bring some of this love into their lives through our product and or service. And if they find a way to do that, customers will come back over and over and over again because they're getting something that is of true value. They don't even necessarily know what it is, but there's just a feeling of like, no, I really, like, I just love that restaurant. And then often what they do is they change the formula, don't they? They've got a great formula going, and then they go, all right, so it's all working. So now we'll change the menu, we'll change the staff, and then the formula doesn't work. Because you've removed the critical element. Let's say it was a great chef who had a lot of love. You take him out, well, you're missing the secret sauce there of love, and you replace him with a chef that maybe technically quite skilled but doesn't have that, and then you wonder why it's not working so well. Or a manager, that doesn't really care about customers. A manager that's more oriented around profits.
Yeah.
Well, I'll share a story. This illustrates the point very well in business. So it's a guy called Steve Shapiro. He was a motivational speaker, and he did some teaching on listening, which was really great. And he said, so he's writing his latest book, and he gets a flyer in the mail, and it says, "Is special on swordfish and salad, $6.99. Phone us, order, and then come and collect." It's like, okay, great, I can do that. So he phones. So I like the special. Great. He goes, locks up half an hour later. The guy says, he gives him this, and he says, okay, so here's my special. And the guy says, "Oh, you got the special. Oh, I didn't know that." He says, "Oh, what's the problem?" No, well, he says, the special is a piece of swordfish that's not quite as fresh. So I can't give you the fresh one I've given you. He said, I can cook a less fresh one for you if you like, or you can pay an extra $1 and you can get the fresh one I've cooked for you.
Oh my goodness.
And the guy says, seriously, you're honestly telling me you want to give me a less fresh piece of swordfish, or I've got to pay another $1 for a fresh piece? But you see, the mindset is wrong. It's not like I'm trying to serve the customer. The mindset is, well, how much money can I make from this little transaction? But it's such a limited mindset because this guy's never going to come back again. Who wants to go back to a place that's going to serve him an off piece of swordfish? And then, of course, he happens to be a speaker and an author, so he puts it in his book, and millions of people find out about the story. It's kind of the worst marketing you can get. And I don't know the name of the place, but I suspect it's probably not there anymore. Because if you treat customers like that, what can you expect?
Yeah.
So there's valuing what is valueless. What does it come down to? The guy valued what is really valueless. He valued, short-term profit, a bit of money, over giving love to the customer and giving a good experience to the customer. True. Say, oh, never mind. Just don't even worry about it. Like I've given you this, I won't even mention it. I'll just give it freely, and I know, like, if you have a great experience and you enjoy the swordfish, then you might come back and you might spread the word, and it's all good. And that's what we want: happy customers. Surely. But amazingly, many businesses don't share that philosophy because they value what is valueless. That's the problem. They value money and profits over, giving and receiving of love, which is really what is the value in their business. Once you understand that, business becomes quite simple. Okay, it's just the giving and receiving of love. That's what's important. And that just needs to be packaged in a product and service that, yes, there's also a monetary value to that, because otherwise it wouldn't be a business, it would be a charity or something. On that perspective on business would absolutely transform the way business is done. Do they teach that at business schools? No, I went to business school, they didn't teach me that. It took, going into spiritual teaching. Okay, so let's move on to number 3.
Oh, sorry. Lemon juice.
I'm going to mute you, right? Because you. So today I list. Oh, actually, Christine. Christine, can you read that for us? Welcome. If you're there, yep.
Hello.
Can you read number 3 for us?
Today I list the real criteria by which to test all things I think I want. Unless they meet these sound requirements, they are not worth desiring at all, for they can but replace what offers more. The laws that govern choice I cannot make, no more than I can make alternatives from which to choose. But the choosing I can do. Indeed, I must. But it is wise for me to learn the laws I set in motion when I choose, and what alternatives I choose between.
Okay, so he's saying, what's he saying there in summary?
That I must be careful what I choose. It is within my ability to choose the right thing. The real criteria by which to test all things. I don't know. The real things that make me happy are what I can choose. I'm not too sure what the laws that govern choice I cannot make means. You can explain that, please.
Yeah, the laws that govern choice I cannot make. Yeah, so the consequences of my choice. Yeah, I don't make those laws. If I choose separation, then the consequences, those will be the consequences of separation. And the law that governs the choice for perfect love, again, that will have consequences. I cannot make those laws. They are set, they're given. No more than I can make alternatives from which to choose. Right? So it's a fixed construct. We've got 2 alternative thought systems to choose from, and each has its consequences. And you can't choose that. They are what they are. But you can choose which one you're going to believe in, which one you're going to choose. That you can do. That's what he's saying. So we look at our diagram again. This shows it pretty clearly. Descent into hell. It's a choice between thought systems. So I can't choose the law that governs the choice for the ego. If I choose the ego, then I have to accept its whole thought system. The laws that govern that thought system are set. I must then abide by those laws, all the stuff in the red boxes. Or if I choose truth, then those laws have consequences too, and then I will live by those laws. Those laws are fixed. I can't decide what those laws are, and I can't decide the alternatives. Right? There are 2 alternatives whether I like it or not. But the choosing I must do. I must choose between one or the other. Does that explain it?
Yes, it does. And basically, you have to have the experience of life to get to know those laws so that you can make the right-minded choice.
Yeah. So when we experience, the ego and we suffer, that can be very helpful because we understand now these laws that govern choice and these laws of the ego lead to suffering. And I've experienced that personally. So it's not theoretical knowledge. It's like, I know it leads to suffering because I've experienced it. Okay, well, am I willing to see that there's no alternative, right? That if I choose the ego, I will suffer. It's a given. I can't change that. But what I can do is I can deny the ego and I can make another choice. That's the only choice really available to me. You know, the ego is telling you, well, within the illusion, you've got all kinds of choices. You could do this, you could do that, you could have this special relationship, you could, you know, get this job, you could move to this place. You know, lots of choice within the dream. But those aren't real choices. Those are choices on the lower level of form. The only real choice is between the thought systems. And that's what he's trying to bring us to the awareness of with these lessons. And the laws are set in motion when I choose. So when I choose, the laws are set in motion. If I choose separation, I have to become aware of the laws that I set in motion. If I'm not aware of that, then I have no idea what I'm doing. These laws just seem to operate randomly. You know, the world seems to be pretty crazy and chaotic, and I don't understand. It's part of a thought system that I chose based on an idea of separation that I chose. So we have to become conscious about the choice and the consequences of the choice, which is what this mind training is all about. The more aware you become of the ego system, the less you want it. The more insane it becomes evident that it is. And then, you know, you naturally will choose the alternative, which is the Holy Spirit. Okay, does that make sense? Number 3?
Yes.
Happy with that? Number 4. Okay, John's back, so I'll ask him to read number 4. John, just in time to read a paragraph for us. Number 4 of the lesson. You see that? There are only 2. Can you read number 4 for us?
To me, John. There
Yeah,
are
only
there are only 2, however many there appear to be.
I'm going to move that around. However many there appear to be, there are only 2. I think that's better stated in that order, don't you?
However many there appear to be, there are only 2. The
Yeah,
range.
talking about choice. You know, the choice of thought systems.
Oh yeah. Oh yes. The range is set, and this I cannot change. It would be most ungenerous to me to let alternatives be limitless and so delay my final choice until I have considered all of them in time and not been brought so clearly to the place where there is only one choice that I must make.
Yeah. So what's he saying there?
He's saying it would be very unkind to have limitless choices because I'd probably spend forever on it.
Yeah. There'll just be no clarity. And the ego has given us seemingly limitless choices, hasn't it? It's created an illusion of, well, you could do this, you could do that, you could, you know, there's so many options in this life, aren't there? Seemingly limitless choices. And it's got us very confused with all of those choices.
Yeah.
When actually there's only 2 choices.
Yeah.
You have to see through the illusion of all the other choices. There's only 2. It's the choice for love or the choice for fear. That's the choice. And most of what we think is, you know, some valid choices. Well, I could do this, or I could do that in the illusion. I could have a relationship, get married, get divorced. I could get a new job. I could move countries. I could make money. I could lose money, etc., etc. None of that is really choice because it's just you're choosing the dream. You're choosing to continue dreaming. So you're actually choosing the ego. Or you can choose The alternative, the Holy Spirit, which helps us to let go of the ego and escape the dream. So he's bringing us to the point of choice, to the awareness that, yeah, there's really only one choice that I must make, that I must make in order to be free. So if you can perceive that the one choice is completely insane and brings only chaos, death, disaster, pain, suffering, misery, destruction, then is that really a valid choice? Is that the choice anyone in their right mind would make once you understand what that choice entails? So another way of looking at this course is to say he's helping us to understand the choice that we have made, the bad choice, the false choice for the ego, to really understand what that choice entails, all of its consequences, so that we can now make a better choice. So once we realize just how insane and disastrous that choice was, because we understand all of its consequences, then we're in an excellent position to make a better choice and choose the alternative. So it's a course in helping us to choose correctly. By schooling us, by teaching us what the consequences of each choice must be. As he says, the range is set. I can't choose what those thought systems are, and I can't choose the consequences of each thought system. That's a given, that's fixed, that's laid out here. Right? If you choose separation, then this is what's going to happen. You are going to have guilt and sin and fear and attack and accusation and blame, and you'll try and project your guilt and you'll end up as a victim of a cruel world and you will die. It's inevitable. That's what that choice brings with it. And if you choose perfect love, then that choice will bring happiness, love, peace, joy, and eternal life. Those are not up to you to decide. Those are the fixed consequences of choice. All you can do is make the correct choice. And that's what he's trying to bring us to the awareness of. So, yeah, well, you must make the correct choice. Choosing I must make. Only the one choice that I must make. Very clearly. So he wants to bring us back. You look at the diagram. He's bringing us back to this point where we made this fatal choice for separation. Bring us back to that moment of decision and change our mind. Say, no, I'm not going to choose that anymore. Actually, I choose to let it go, and I choose to go back and return to my true awareness. So you reverse then all of the effects of separation. So that's why it's an undoing. This is the word undoing. Because you undo all of the effects when you choose against the ego. And all of these consequences simply disappear because they come with that choice. And if you no longer make that choice, then the consequences of the choice must also disappear. Is that clear?
Yeah.
Okay. Number 5. It's Kim again. I think Kim, if you can read it for us.
Another kindly and related law is that there is no compromise in what my choice must bring. It cannot give me just a little, for there is no in between. Each choice I make brings everything or nothing to me. Therefore, if I learn the tests by which I can distinguish everything from nothing, I will make the better choice. It does really say all or nothing in some respect, yeah. So there's I see this as an absolute.
You're making that choice moment by moment, you see. That's what he's saying.
Mm-hmm.
You choose to desire something in form. You're making the choice for the ego. You choose to let it go and find an awareness that's, happy and peaceful beyond that. You're choosing love. So this is a choice to make moment by moment. No. Because it can be like, well, it's a one-time choice. No, it's a choice you're making all the time.
Yeah, because it's not written here explicitly like that, but the way you describe it, it helps that It doesn't feel like this one big choice that
Well, he does say each
That is
choice
a-
I make brings everything or nothing. So he's saying each choice.
okay.
Each choice,
Yeah.
you see, is a little mini version of the whole choice of the split. Every decision we have that's of any consequence has the two thought systems as alternatives. And so then we
Right.
must have the discernment to choose correctly. And if we choose correctly consistently, that takes us back home. And if we choose incorrectly, that takes us further away from home and into misery and suffering. So this is a course in correct decision making. It's another way of looking. It's a course in making the right choice, moment by moment by moment. As eventually the choice for oneness becomes so much a part of you that it's just your default way of operating. So that choice is made, and it becomes your default choice. But to do that requires a lot of mind training, because the ego is always presenting us with the alternative, saying no, choose me instead. So I've used this analogy before. It's like you're at a crossroads, and you've got two ways going opposite directions, and you've got two guides. The one guide says, follow me, this is the way, it's going to be great, you know, there's a lovely place down there, there's you know, lots of entertainment, there's pleasures, there's attraction, and that's the voice of the ego. It says, follow me. And the other one says, you know, I'll take you on this path, and you know, there might be some difficulty on the way. Not promising it's all going to be smooth, but ultimately you'll get to the most amazing transcendent view, and you will come to know yourself through this journey. Will you follow me? Those are the choices. And we're always choosing between, you know, either of those guides. We just don't always recognize it.
Mm.
So in form, you choose to go for a temporary pleasure. And you go, yeah, I'll just give into that, and I'll go for, and I'll gorge myself on chocolate cake, for example. You've just given into the ego, because you've made the choice for the illusion rather than the truth. You let that go, and you say, no, actually that doesn't really serve me at all. So the temporary pleasure is nothing. It's just a meaningless distraction. Actually, I'd rather go and just spend time, you know, meditating in nature, or spending quality time with you know, with someone in an unconditionally loving way, or whatever. Then, you know, then you're making a different choice, aren't you? And so they're leading you in different directions.
And when you say therefore, he says, therefore, if I learn the tests by which I can distinguish everything from nothing, the tests being,
Well, yeah, next
it's all,
tells us first test is, you want to read it?
paragraph
6. First, if I choose a thing that will not last forever. Yeah.
Okay,
You see that,
first,
Kim?
first, if I choose a thing that will not last forever, what I choose is valueless. A temporary value is without all value. Time can never take away a value that is real. What fades and dies was never there, and makes no offering to my little self that chooses it. I am deceived by nothing in a form I think I like.
Very clear when you're saying that. If it won't last forever, then it's valueless. It's a pretty clear decision-making tool, isn't it? Okay, so it's in form, it doesn't last, it's going to fade and die, it's valueless ultimately. Then does that mean that you don't participate in life and you don't engage? No, you just don't value the meaningless. You don't value the form, but you value the essence. The essence of it is eternal. That's unconditional love, pure form, so when it's a perfect love. You value that rather than the form of it. Time can never take away a value that is real. So if I value only the essence, rather than the form, then I can't be
Yeah.
disappointed because the essence cannot die.
Mm.
It's always there. And the
Yeah.
pure formless awareness remains. But if I value the form, I'm deceived by nothing in a form I think I like. And my mind then is temporary. It's all temporal. That's why we get caught in time, because it's all temporary and it doesn't last. Time, in fact, only exists, seemingly exists, because of the illusion of change. Think about it. What measures time? Oh, well, this changed. Something happened, and then something else happened, and things are changing. So now we measure time by change. But the eternal doesn't change.
Mm.
So by valuing what was temporary, we're allowing time to continue, and we're valuing what is changeable rather than what is changeless.
Yeah.
Makes no offering and offers my little self that chooses it. Nothing. And so there's really no value there, although the illusion is there seems to be a value, but it's kind of empty and hollow. And the thing with the ego, if you value what it offers you, it will always feel kind of a bit shallow and empty. It will never satisfy you for long.
Yeah.
You always come away feeling like I'm somewhat disappointed, and then the ego says, well, that didn't work, but go for something else. Choose something else within the illusion, or more. More is better. So go get more of that, or something else, and that'll satisfy you. And so this endless searching, seeking, craving for something outside of us to make us happy. And Yeshua here is just saying, give it up. It's not going to work. Because anything that is temporary has no value at all. Okay, so that's the first law. Pretty clear. I mean, just use that as a decision tool. Okay, is this temporary? Is this going to last or not? That's the question. Okay, it's not going to last. Well, then it has no value in and of itself. The only value that it really has is the underlying love that is in it. But that's not temporary. That's always there. That's timeless. So then I choose to focus on that, and I see that in all the temporary forms, and then I don't get sad when the form dies, because I realize that the essence has not died. Just the form has changed, but the essence remains. Pure formless awareness, perfect love is still pure formless awareness and perfect love. And that will never change. Okay, so next.
Should I do the next one?
Yeah, you want to do the next one, John?
Next, if you choose to take a thing away from someone else.
Do it in the alternative because it's personalized.
Okay. Next, if I choose to take a thing away from someone else, I will have nothing left. This is because when I deny their right to everything, I have denied my own. That word everything kind of jumps out at me a bit. I mean, I understand it if it's anything.
Right to everything. Well, everything, trying to use everything that is real, everything that is true. Maybe that would qualify it a bit. Everything that is real.
Yeah, yeah. Helps.
Everything real.
Yeah.
Or everything true. Again, everything doesn't really, because it's not a thing. You know, we have language trying to describe what's everything that's true is not things, is not material things. These are states, love, peace, joy. That's everything that is true. But yeah, They're trying to express in language what's really beyond language.
Yeah. This is because when I deny their right to everything that is true, I have denied my own. So what he's saying here is, if we deny somebody something, we are effectively, well, we're kind of blocking the whole route to abundance, aren't we?
Hmm.
We are denying that, and therefore, if we block the system, we will block
Let's
it
block it in ourselves. Yeah.
in ourselves.
Block is always, if I deny it in someone else, I'm denying it in myself automatically.
Yeah, yeah,
Denying that reality in myself.
yeah,
That's how it goes. As I see others, so I see myself.
which makes sense.
Yeah.
Therefore, I will not recognize the things and therefore I will not recognize the things I really have, denying they are there. So it's saying that if we block the system, we will actually also neither will we recognize what we already have.
Hmm. Yeah.
Who seeks to take away?
So, I mean, again, they're not really things. How do you describe it? States.
Oh yeah.
The states, the gifts, maybe gifts instead of
Yeah,
things.
yeah.
Gifts. The gifts I really have, denying they're there.
Who seeks to take away has been deceived by the illusion that loss can offer or bring gain. Get lost. If I seek to take away anything, oh yes, I seek to take away anything from anyone, I have been deceived by the illusion.
Yeah, which is to take away anything real from anyone. I've been deceived by the illusion that loss can offer gain.
Loss can offer me gain or just offer gain. Offer me gain. It's a bit more specific, I suppose. Yet loss must offer loss and nothing more. Which in our analogy of a blocked system is that the system is blocked, it's blocked.
Yeah, and then I'm blocked. So if I see the block in someone else, let's say there's an interaction with someone and they haven't been very nice to you, and then you judge them and you get into anger and resentment and whatever, and you're not recognizing the gifts you really have. You're not recognizing love and peace and joy, and you're in an illusion, denying they're there. And then you seek to take away anything real from anyone. So then you might deny them love. You say, well, I think you deserve punishment, and I wish you could be. Some people wish all kinds of horrible things in people. Well, he should be shot. It's like wishing death upon people. Well, if you seek to take away anything real from anyone, like life, like the life, the true awareness we really have, we've been deceived by the illusion that loss can offer me gain. Somehow that person being shot or losing their life will offer me something, but it can only offer me death. Sort of should be self-evident, because if they can die, then so can I. But we don't always see this. Loss must offer loss and nothing more.
It's such a good principle, isn't it?
Hmm.
It's a principle that would do well to be understood in business.
Yeah, in all fields of life. politics. I mean, politicians understood this.
Yeah. Yeah.
We'd have a different, different world. We'd have some
Yeah.
vision. That, loss also offers loss and nothing more. If I lose, if someone else loses, then I lose. But the illusion is there's a win-loss thing. Or I win and they lose. That's a sacrifice principle right there, you see, of the ego. You see how that's so entrenched in our world? Game of winners and losers. I win, you must lose. You win, I lose. And then you have these ridiculous, situations where on a global level, there's winners and losers. So, so now you've got United States versus Russia, war, now it's repeating. It's like someone's got to win and someone's got to lose. The truth is, if you go to war, everyone loses. That's the truth. Loss must offer loss and nothing more.
Yeah.
And the one advantage of our technology is it makes that apparent. If we go to nuclear war, everyone loses.
Yeah.
No one wins that game. It's a lose-lose game, which is why we haven't had one, because everyone, fortunately recognizes that that's just it's a no-brainer. Everyone loses.
Fortunately, so far,
Yeah, but the insanity of the ego, and someone might just decide to press the button one day and go, screw it, do it anyway, and then everyone loses and the whole world blows up. Oh, that's good. Such an advanced species that you blew yourself up. That's brilliant.
Yeah.
Oh, so clever that you destroyed yourselves. Not clever at all.
Take that.
It took 200 million years to do away with the dinosaurs. And it was an act of God, it's out of their controls, a comet that did it. Well, we'll just finish ourselves off in less than 1 million, the way we go. Without wisdom, see? So wisdom, the guidance, these principles are not just like, oh, well, this is kind of all woo and it's nice to have. This makes the difference between humanity surviving and, growing into a wise kind of species, or we exterminate ourselves. And, the earth no longer has people because we've killed ourselves. And it will then regenerate and something else will come in, millions of years to come. So it's pretty critical in the illusion of time anyway, that, we learn this. From the eternal point of view, it's like, well, surely, if not now, then when? It's not so much about saving the earth, because the earth's doomed to be destroyed anyway. When the sun goes into supernova, the earth's going to be destroyed anyway. That will happen in 1 billion or 2 years or whatever. So it's all destructible. So don't value what is valueless. Just use the experience for what it's really for, which is to awaken you. That's all the earth is here for. A school to wake you up from your dream of sacrifice, separation, and death. Loss must offer loss and nothing more. Okay, happy with that?
Yeah.
First one was, if something is permanent, then it has value, and if it's not, it has no value. Second principle was, if I choose to take a thing away from someone else, then I have nothing left. So as I give, I receive. Another form of that lesson, which we've had before. And then the next consideration. So let's have someone else read that. Christine, maybe?
My next consideration is the one on which the others rest. One is the choice I make of value to me. What attracts my mind to it? What purpose does it serve? Here it is easiest of all to be deceived. For what the belief in separation wants, it fails to recognize. It does not even tell the truth as it perceives it, for it needs to keep the halo which it uses to protect its goal from tarnish and rust, so that I may see how innocent it is.
Yeah, so what's he saying there?
So the belief in separation tricks me into being deceived by the truth. And by asking the questions, why is this choice valuable to me? What attracts my mind to it, and what purpose does it serve? Is the best way not to be deceived.
So it's full of guile and trickery. It's trying to convince me that its goals actually serve a purpose, and that they're meaningful, and that the goals from tarnish and rust. So it doesn't want to show us that actually all of its goals are temporary and illusory, that they will fade and they will die. Tarnish and rust are, signs of decay. And we could change that from its goals from decay and death. Might be tarnish and rust. Rust, tarnish, rust, decay, and that's probably not the right translation. Decay and degradation, maybe.
Yeah.
Degradation.
Yeah.
Decay and degradation. And I see how, I perceive how innocent it is. So it doesn't want us to really see what its goals entail. Always going to have an illusion of, oh no, this is good. It offers you something. And then we get disappointed time and again because those goals can never fulfill us. And then the ego says, oh, well, that didn't work, but try something else. Yeah, another goal will work, something else or more. Maybe you didn't have enough. So get more of that. And then you'll be satisfied. And it's just deceiving us because actually it doesn't want us to see that its entire thought system is broken and doesn't work. And then we have to give it up entirely. What it really wants, what the belief in separation really wants for you is death. That's what it wants. It wants to kill you and cause a lot of pain and suffering in the process. That's what it wants. And you have to see that very clearly, because then you won't choose it. It's a death wish. The death wish comes in, seemingly attractive form. It might come in the form of a special relationship or fancy new car or whatever you value in this world. But it's all part of the thought system of sacrifice and death that will lead you ultimately to death. And we have to be very honest and see that, because only then will we change our minds. Okay?
Okay.
Number 9. Move on to 9. I think it's Elaine, if you can read that. Elaine's still there.
Yes.
Yes, you there?
Yeah, yet its camouflage is a thin veneer, which could deceive only those who are content to be deceived. Its goals are obvious to anyone who cares to look at them. Here is deception doubled, for the one who deceived will not perceive that he has merely failed to gain. They will believe that they have served the belief in separation's hidden goals.
So what's he saying there?
It's all a camouflage in a very thin veneer. And good night. The goals are obvious at what the ego's game is. Who cares to just look at it? And, the deception is doubled. Who's actually the one who's deceived from being in the separated self?
So if we're really honest, we can see. Anyone who's really honest, you see, well, everything here is impermanent. It doesn't last. That's an honest evaluation of this world, isn't it? Okay,
Yeah.
so if it doesn't last, why am I valuing it then? If it's only gonna fade and die, and it will disappoint me, why then am I valuing it? That's the honest appraisal, which you would think is completely obvious, but it's not for most people. This is considered high-level spiritual realization. It's just common sense. No, obviously nothing's going to last you. Surely you've figured that out by now. You can see, just observe what happens in this world. Nothing here lasts. Everything comes and goes. People die. Everything dies. I mean, surely that's obvious. If you've lived for any length of time on the planet. So why are you valuing what is so temporary? It obviously can't give you any kind of lasting, permanent satisfaction, because it's not going to be there always.
Yeah.
And the deception is double, because the one who's deceived will not perceive, is merely failed to gain. Because those who are not deceived will not perceive that they have merely failed to gain. They will believe that they have served the belief in separation's hidden goals.
You've got an excessive the in there, John. Number three.
Number three.
Here is deception double for
Those, yeah, for those who are not deceived, will not perceive that they have merely failed to gain. They will believe that they have actually served belief in separation's hidden goals. So we choose to believe in this thought system. Did any of you watch that? Any of you watch that video I posted, documentary on A Fatal Desire?
Yeah.
No. I was about
Yeah.
It was a good one.
Yeah.
And did you listen? There was that black guy from Zimbabwe. Did you listen to him?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
And there you see the ego's mindset so clearly, right? He's just like, no, this is the way. He's convinced himself, and he says, I mean, he said something ridiculous. He said everything in the Bible is about money. Every verse in the Bible is about money. I'm like, are we reading the same Bible here? I mean, because really, it's absolutely no way. But do you see how the ego works? Like total denial. He's got on a one-track mind. His mindset is money, money, money. That's what's important. And so then he perceives everything in that context, and he misinterprets the entire Bible, and he says it's all about money. God.
Was that the man with the fancy house? Is that the one at the end with the fancy house you're talking about?
I think he had a whole lot of shoes. He was talking about his shoes.
Yeah, I know who you mean. Yeah, he had a beautiful house.
No, money. God put me here to make money, and you just see how the one-track mind. It's like that's his ego's just latched onto that, and obviously he's been successful on the level of 4, and he has made money, and his ego's just loving it. It's just like Then he goes, there's no eternal truth. Actually, the Bible's all about money and material abundance. But it's a total misinterpretation of what the Bible is about. In fact, Yeshua says, you can't honor two masters. It's God and Mammon. That's in the Bible. Well, he obviously didn't read that part, did he? We skipped over that part because it didn't suit him. So the point is, you'll believe that you've actually served the belief in separation's hidden goals. He is now like willingly going down that track, and he's like, right, this is the belief in separation, wants me to make money, it wants me to be successful, it's all about material abundance, and so I'm now really a slave to the ego, and I've convinced myself that this is good, and I'm actually sort of somehow spiritual, and I'm serving God's will, when actually it's completely not the case.
Yeah, he was wallowing in it, wasn't he?
Yeah, but it was good they showed him, because it's like, look, that's extreme of the thought
Yeah.
system. This is what it can do to someone's mind, and everything then gets misinterpreted according to their belief. So the Bible's all about money. I mean, what?
Yeah.
What Bible are you reading then? Because most of the time it's not about money, it's about God. It's about finding God and connecting with a source that's eternal, and that's beyond this world. That's what the Bible's about. But he misinterprets it, because that's what his ego wants to see. So you see what you want to see. Yeah. So yet though he tries to, may try to keep its halo clear. Who's I think it's Kim. Is it Kim again? Cycling back to Kim.
Yeah. Yet though I may try to keep its halo clear within my vision, still I must perceive its tarnished edges and rusted core. My ineffectual mistakes appear as sins to me, because it looks upon the tarnish as my own. The rust a sign of deep unworthiness within myself. If I still want to preserve my separate self's goals and serve them as my own, I will make no mistakes according to the dictates of his guide. This guidance teaches it is error to believe that sins are only mistakes, for who would suffer for his sins if this were so?
I'm just going to change, because what do we say? Tarnish was decay and degradation. So I'm going to say decayed edges and degraded core. Not quite as poetic. I mean, the imagery is quite nice, but actually what he means is that it's decay and a degraded core. It's a degraded thought system. Destructive, maybe. It's decayed edges and destructive core. Makes it more explicit, because it looks upon the decay as my own. And we're trying to really paint the ego in its true light here, and maybe degradation. Degraded is quite nice, because then there's the unworthiness. It's degraded. So then, of course, the degraded core means you have a sign of deep unworthiness within myself.
I think it's saying. I'll go ahead.
No, you summarize it.
Well, what it's saying here for me is if we've chosen the way of the ego, it's temporary, but in terms of sins, you feel, well, it doesn't say guilt here, but that's what I see it as here. When you say, my ineffectual mistakes appear as sins to me, because it looks upon the decay as my own. So it's like you have to take that on. And it's making that real. The sin is making it real, and it brings across that guilt, that unworthiness, and it keeps a state of separateness.
To believe that sins are only mistakes. Who would suffer for his sins if this was so?
With the third sentence, if I still want to preserve my separate self's goals and serve them as my own, I will make no mistakes according to the dictates of my guide being the ego. So I'll keep doing that again and again.
Yeah.
I'll attain that perfectly, keeping it separate.
Yeah. And this
Then the
guidance
fourth-
teaches error to believe that the sins are only mistakes. So it says that the sins are real, they're permanent. Sin is really error made real, permanent, and punishable. That's the definition of sin. Error made real, permanent, and punishable. Whereas a mistake, well, that's not permanent. It's not real, and it's certainly not punishable. It's just a little mistake that you can correct.
When you say then this guidance teaches it is error to believe that sins are only mistake. Oh, okay, this guidance being the ego saying it's an error to believe that the sins are only mistakes.
Yeah.
Who would suffer for sins?
The sin is real, that it's permanent, it's real, it's punishable, and sin is real. And if you've made a mistake, then you're eternally punished and damned. There's no mistake. Whereas this teaching of the Holy Spirit is just a little mistake, right? We made it's just a tiny little mistake. We thought of a wrong thought, idea of separation, and we believed in it, and then we went down this whole track, and it's all just a mistaken idea, which can be corrected. You just change your mind. So none of those consequences that you experience from that tiny mad idea, that tiny mistake, are really real, and they're not undoable. They can all be undone if you just correct your mind. So then there's no sin. There's just a mistake. But sin and guilt go hand in hand, and that entrenches the ego in your mindset. So that's why when Yeshua healed, he would always say to people, your sins are forgiven, because he knew that when they released themselves from this burden of sin, then healing would happen. And that, in the Judaic Jewish religion, sin is a big thing. The Judeo-Christian religion, sin is a fundamental part of it. That we've all sinned, and we're somehow less than perfect, and God will punish us for our sins. That's a pretty key tenet of those religions. Carrying that burden, it's no wonder you get sick and you suffer, because sin is a very heavy burden to carry, and there's no hope. If you think that you're sinful and you're condemned, there's no hope in that thought system. So they're just saying, well, let that go and realize it's just a little mistake. So what does David Hofmeister call it? A tiny oops. You made a little oops. And that now has led to all these other consequences, and you seem to be human in a pretty crazy place, but it's just a little oops that can be corrected. Okay, happy with number 10.
Yeah.
Yep.
So we come to the criterion for choice. Who would like to read that one? Christine, perhaps?
Yeah. And so we come to the criterion for choice. That is the hardest to believe, because its obviousness is overlaid with many levels of obscurity. And if I feel any guilt about my choice, I have allowed my belief in separation's goals to come between the real alternatives. And so I do not realize there are only two, and the alternative I think I chose seems fearful and too dangerous to be the nothingness it actually is.
Yeah, so what's he saying there?
I think this is an interesting one, because I think when we are faced with a choice and we actually give it over and receive guidance, that guidance can seem scary and not logical.
Hmm.
And it's at that moment, I think, that this applies in the sense that the ego gets in the way and says, oh no, that isn't right.
Hmm. Hmm.
Spot on, yes. And then the choice feels right. In hindsight, you realize that making the choice from that higher perspective was the right, even though it was scary.
Hmm.
So number 2, if I feel any guilt about my choice, the belief in separation has come in.
But he uses the word guilt,
Hmm.
which is intriguing me,
Mm-hmm.
because I'd understand it if it was doubt, but it's
Mm-hmm.
guilt.
Feel any guilt about my choice. Allowed my belief in separation's goals to come between the real alternatives. So guilt, remember, guilt underpins the ego. So whenever I make an egoic choice, I will experience more guilt because I've just confirmed that I am actually a separate self. So guilt is inevitable. So I feel any guilt about my choice, it means I must have made the wrong choice, gone down the wrong track. And I've allowed my belief in separation's goals to come between the real alternatives. So the separation's goals, belief in separation's goals, are to be a separate self, individual, separate, unique, special, and perpetuate the thought system of guilt, sin, fear, and attack. So that whole thought system and its goals has now come between me and the real alternatives. Like I don't see the wood for the trees because I've just been, duped by the illusion that all of this offers me something, that the valueless really does offer me something. But actually it offers me guilt, sin, fear, attack, suffering, and death. I just have to, see that and then recognize that I have another choice. So really guilt is the canary in the gold mine, saying if you're feeling guilty, then you know you've made the wrong choice.
And guilt,
guilt then obscures your real choice. It then denies the alternative because you just think you're guilty. Yeah, question?
and the guilt brings up a fear of punishment. So if there's any doubt or fear, the underlying feeling is guilt.
Yeah. So guilt underpins the ego's whole thought system. So you're feeling any guilt, then you know it's ego. Spirit has no guilt. And that obscures that. You get caught in guilt and its consequences, because fear comes from guilt and then attack comes from guilt. You get caught up in that. It all obscures that you have another choice. It obscures the real alternative. The ego tells you have no choice. You're just stuck in this, and denies that there's another thought system that you could choose. Alternative I think I chose seems too fearful and too dangerous to be there. Nothing as it actually is. And now we think we've chosen this, we've gone down, and now we've got this fear, and it seems to be real, and it's very fearful, and it's scary, and we forget that it's really just nothing. It's an idea of nothing. Separation it doesn't exist, blown up into something. Seems to be now everything, seems to be all consuming, if you believe in it. Okay, any other thoughts on number 11?
No, that's good.
Okay, so number 12 then. All things are valuable or valueless. It's Elaine, I think. Elaine's turn.
All things are valuable or valueless, worthy or not, of being sought at all, entirely desirable or not worth the slightest effort to obtain. Choosing is easy just because of this. Complexity is nothing but a screen of smoke that hides the very simple fact that no decision can be difficult. What is the gain to me in learning this? It is far more than merely letting me make choices easily and without pain.
That's what he's saying there.
It's just two choices. One is valuable or valueless, and complexity is nothing but a smoke screen that hides the simple fact that no decision can be difficult. And there's no, what's the problem in learning this? So it's far more than merely letting me make choices easily without pain. It's really simple, but we're making it complex.
Thanks, Kim. Were you heading off? Yeah, so Kim's just
It's not really complex at all.
very, very simple. You know? Do you choose oneness or do you choose separation? Always comes down to that. Very simple. And you can't reconcile that because oneness contradicts separation. Separation contradicts oneness. And logically, just look at it. You can't be perfectly one and also be separate. How's that possible? And the ego would have you believe that, that is possible. Might allow you to entertain some, well, oneness is kind of there, it's sort of, yeah, it's ultimate truth, but separation is also true. Okay, but hang on, bring those two together. It doesn't make sense. You can't be perfectly one and also separate. They contradict each other. And that simple logic is the essence of non-dual teaching. Should be common sense, but it's anything but common. But it's not anything otherworldly and mystical. It's just simple logic, isn't it? And Yeshua's getting us to see that simple logic and accept, okay, yeah, that is actually the way it is. And so then given that, I must choose correctly. I must choose the right mind, the right way, the truth, rather than the illusion that denies it. So all things are valuable or valueless, worthy or not of being sought at all, entirely desirable, not worth the slightest effort to obtain. A very clear-cut choice. I want it or I don't. You do or you do not. It's a binary. It's a 1 or a 0, not both. And if it's a 1, it's not a 0, and a 0 is not a 1. They are opposites. So let me choose the 1, not the 0. No, let me choose oneness rather than nothingness that appears to be something. Okay. Any other thoughts on that?
Oh, that's clear.
Okay, so heaven itself. So he's left John, if you want to read that one.
Yeah. I reach the state of pure formless awareness with empty hands and an open mind, which come with nothing to find everything and claim it as their own. As my own?
Their own is the hands he's referring to.
Oh. Okay. I reached.
and the open mind. So empty hands and an open mind there's nothing
Oh
to
yeah. Okay. Okay.
there is the hands and the mind.
I will attempt to reach this state today with self-deception laid aside and with an honest willingness to value but the truly valuable and the real. My 2 extended practice periods of 15 minutes each begin with this. I will not value what is valueless, and I accept only what has true value, for I want to find only that.
I want to find only that do I desire to find. If I want to find only that, let's take out the extra do there. Only that do I desire to find. I want to find only that.
Yeah.
They're pretty simple. It's just saying, choose only that. Stop splitting your mind and making contradictory choices. Choose love, choose eternity, choose what's permanent, and let go of what's not. Let go of what denies that. So we let go of all contradiction there. And then receive what waits for everyone who reaches unencumbered. So, Elaine, if you can read that one.
And then I receive what waits for me as I reach unburdened to the state of pure formless awareness, which opens to me as I invite it in. Should I begin to let myself collect some needless burdens or believe I perceive some difficult decisions facing me, I am quick to answer with this simple thought: I will not value what is valueless, for what is truly valuable belongs to me.
So just a correction, isn't it? It's like if I start going into expectations, desires, grievances, just correct your mind. Say, I won't value what's valueless. What is truly valuable belongs to me. It's there already. So I don't need anything. It's already there. I'm claiming what is already there, which isn't hard to do. I don't need to seek anything. It's not there. It's already there. As soon as you value what's outside of you, see what the subtle denial of this is, that when I seek something outside of me, I'm saying it's not there. I don't have everything I need. I need something outside of me. So I'm denying my completeness. I'm denying that I'm complete and whole. And that's why desire makes us suffer, because we believe that we are not who we are. We believe that we're somehow complete and not whole. And so we need something to complete us. You see the key inside the Buddha is a genius insight. He understood that desire was the source of all suffering because it made us in our minds incomplete. And so we sought to complete ourselves somewhere outside of ourselves. And as long as we did that, we are, just by the act of desiring, we are perpetuating the illusion that we're incomplete. And we're reinforcing that illusion. And we see that in the ego's materialist worldview. It's never ending. You're never going to find the satisfaction. Just keep seeking and seeking and never finding. Because in the seeking, you're denying your completeness and your wholeness every time you seek something outside of you, which is completely futile. It's pointless. But that's the way the ego works, and that's what how society is structured. And the Buddha had to go, he had to experience a lot of desire. He was seeking for enlightenment, but he was still seeking. And when he finally stopped seeking and he just let go, and he realized, well, I already have that which I seek. But he had to go through 7 years of ascetic practices and seeking to realize that he would never find it in desire. He would only find it when he accepted it, as it was already within him. So that's what's truly valuable. I will not value what is valueless. I will not desire what is valueless. But what is truly valuable is already in me and it belongs to me. How about truly value? What is truly valuable is, or what is truly valuable is within me. Really, something like that. And it's making it very explicit. Okay, so then we have a little personalized executive summary, which is quite short. So should we read that just to summarize the lesson? And we can do a meditation on it. You like?
Yeah.
Okay, so Elaine, if you can read the first one.
In the past, I have often asked too little of life and got caught up in temporary and worldly concerns. Today, I will focus on the real criteria for choosing what I truly want. There are only two alternatives, and no compromise can be made. I must recognize that lasting value is important, and seeking to take away from others really leaves me with nothing. I need to be aware of the purpose and attraction behind my choices, as my separate self's goals can deceive me.
Yeah. He's saying there. Can you summarize that?
Well, again, it's just no need to get caught up in all the worldly concerns because we have two choices. It's as simple as that. There's no compromise. You choose and just realize what's important. And seeking to take away from others really leaves me with nothing.
Yeah.
So we're all one.
Yeah.
Because our separate selves deceives us.
Only lasting values and two criterion for choice. Two criteria for choice. And is it permanent? Will it last? And then try to take something else away from someone else. It's never going to work. Okay, so the second one, it's crucial for me to
Shall I do it?
yeah.
It is crucial for me to let go of guilt and understand that all things are either valuable or valueless. Choosing is not difficult when I realize that complexity is just a smokescreen hiding the simplicity of decisions. Learning this brings more than just ease in making choices. It opens the gate to a state of pure formless awareness.
Yeah. What's he saying there?
To let go of guilt, and there are only two choices, the valuable and the valueless. And when I realize the complexity of making a choice is just a smokescreen, it then becomes easy to make the decision, which opens the door to a state of pure wholeness awareness.
Yeah, so it's all very, very simple. He's trying to make this very, very, very simple. It's a simple choice between two thought systems, which you can make, and you can make it consistently. So you understand the choices. And why would you value what's valueless? If you really don't perceive any value in it, why would you continue to value it? And this opens the gate, opens the opens my awareness. When we say opens my limited awareness to the state of pure formless awareness. Okay, John, I'm going to read the last one.
By valuing only what is truly valuable and real, I can claim what belongs to me and reach the gates of heaven.
That needs to be translated. I don't know why the
State of pure formless.
AI didn't translate that for some reason. It's generally pretty good. I'm training it.
Yeah, working well.
So you're not following my instructions. I asked you to do this. Will you please remember this in future? It says, I apologize for the confusion. I will attempt to follow your instructions in future. It's funny. It's like an employee. No, I told you to do this. Very funny. But it actually did it, I have to say. It kind of got it.
Yeah,
It's like,
yeah.
so I'm training it. It's like, this is what I want you to do. And it doesn't backchat. Go do it yourself then. Why would the human ego respond to that? Well, screw you, do it yourself. I'm not interested. Oh, I'm really sorry I got it wrong. I'll try better next time.
I will not waste my time and energy on valueless things. But what is truly valuable is within my grasp.
Valueless on valueless things, on pursuing valueless things. That might be better. Pursuing what is truly valuable is already within me. And that's really the core spiritual principle. It's already there. You don't have to look for it. You don't have to desire anything outside of you because it's already there. You just have to accept what's already there. And that is really the essence of any true spiritual teaching. As Yeshua is saying, it's not complex. It's a very simple choice that's just obscured by the many false choices the ego has given you. In the end, it's a very simple choice. Okay, so brings us to the end of the lesson. So would you like to do a meditation on it?
Yeah.
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 John, also up for that?
Yep, okay. Yep.
All right, so just give me a moment. You can get yourself comfortable in the meantime. Just, all right, so just making yourselves comfortable. So nice meditation posture, sitting your feet shoulder width apart, your back straight. Cup your hands in your lap, close your eyes. And start off by taking a nice deep breath in through the nose. So you're breathing in, noticing how the stomach rises and the chest rises. Subtle flow of air in through the nostrils. Just pausing at the top of the inhale. Smile. Scan your mind. Notice any thoughts about anything you value in this world. You're valuing any anything in form, possessions, special relationships, money, food, substances, activities, experiences. I just do a little honest appraisal of what you really value. Breathe in again. It's a nice deep breath in, just to breathe light, just pure formless awareness, spacious awareness. In. Bringing it into your mind, into your body, into your thought system. Breathing in true value. So I will not value what is valueless. I will not value what is really valueless. I accept only what has true value. I want to find only that. And breathing in. And breathe in this true value, which is within you. It's already there in your mind, in your heart. So drop your attention into your heart center as you exhale and just blow away what is valueless. So any value that you attach to the valueless, to things, to special relationships, experiences in this world, anything in this world, just blow it away. The breeze of your breath to the nothingness it really is. All the stomach into the spine. Expel the last remaining air out. It's leaving you. It's going, gone. And nothingness. It really is. And then receive what waits everyone who reaches unburdened to state of pure formless awareness, which opens to me as I invite it in. And just invite this in, realize that it's a simple choice. You have a simple choice between two thought systems. The one offers you heaven, state of pure formless awareness, pure formless awareness of perfect love. There's love, there's peace, there's joy. Everything you truly want is there. And nothing is outside of that. The world you see holds nothing that you want. For it's another recent lesson. You don't desire the valueless anymore. So if something crops up, some needless burdens, Yeshua calls them, maybe there's some grievances, some difficulties, problems rising in your mind now. I perceive some difficult decisions facing. Let's bring them to mind and be quick to answer with a simple thought. I will not value what is valueless, for what is truly valuable is within me already. And then deepen into this awareness. It's truly valuable within you already. And connect with that true value, source of your being. It's eternal. It's true value, the source of all value. So far transcends the illusory values of this world that to wonder why you ever valued them. Why would you give its true value up for anything the world has to offer? To realize the world has nothing to offer. An illusion offers you nothing. It is valueless and meaningless. Simply have to realize that in order to escape from the dream entirely. And give yourself the chance now just to do that. Sinking inwards deeper and deeper with each breath, breathing in and out through your nose, your nostrils. Smell flow of air in through the nostrils and then out the nostrils. You just allow the breath to take you deeper, deeper and deeper to the depths of your being. There's nowhere else to go, nothing else to do, nothing else to think about. Breathe, relax, and be still. Surrender into the depths of your being. What is truly valuable beyond the valueless illusions of this world. Sink into that and experience it fully, wholly, completely. Next. Couple of minutes of deep silence. Nowhere else to go. Nothing else to do, nothing else to think about. Breathe, relax, be still, and surrender to the true value. So, I won't value what is valueless. I accept only what is true value. I want to find only that. And then by your request, by your invitation, find it now in your experience. Truly valuable, let it arise in your awareness. Not limits without any borders, boundaries, limitations. Just sink into it and allow this pure formless awareness to be there as it is in truth. And then experience for yourself truly valuable for the next couple of minutes of deep silence. So just gently coming back, this deep connected state, turn awareness of the body and the breath, senses in the world. And on the count of 3, and to open your eyes. So 1, just breathing in, noticing how the stomach rises as you breathe in, the chest rises, subtle flow of air in through the nostrils. Pausing at the top of the inhale. Smile. Check in, scan your mind. Notice thoughts, emotions, sensations, anything that's a false value, anything that you're still valuing in the world. So your sign of that is any uncomfortable emotion. Comfortable emotion means that you're valuing something that's illusory. So look at that. Remind yourself, I will not value what is valueless. And I accept only what has true value. Or I want to find only that. And you exhale, blow it all out. The breeze of your breath. The nothingness that it really is. It's going, gone. Lower stomach into the spine. Expel the last remaining air out. Just rest on the count of 2 for a moment in pure formless awareness, and the gap between breaths, a portal to the state. Notice the weight of your body pressing down into the chair, your feet touching the ground, noticing what you're feeling. Your hands touching, maybe there's a subtle taste in your mouth, a smell in your nose. And notice what you're hearing in the surrounding environment. Just noticing all these things from this very still, calm, and surrendered state of mind. State in which there are no illusions, only the truth. So on the count of 3, open your eyes. Just take a minute to look around, noticing various objects in the room. In this very clear, calm, detached state. And yourself, I will not value what is valueless. So I'm not going to value any form. So realize it's all permanent, all impermanent, and will fade away and die. So it really offers me nothing. And what is within me already. So close your eyes again, feel this deeper awareness you connected with hopefully quite deeply over the last 17 minutes or so. Feel that awareness, just connect with it. And open your eyes, notice that that awareness is still there, it hasn't really changed. It underlies every perception you have. So look at another few objects for a few seconds each and notice that awareness still there, still underlies every perception. It's the simple awareness that you are, that you have some awareness and fundamental awareness that cannot be undone. That's all that Yeshua is trying to teach us. That awareness cannot be undone. That awareness is all that's truly valuable. Awareness offers you everything. And the awareness that attaches to the form of things seeks to find happiness and satisfaction in form is really nothing. That's false awareness. So one more time, so I will not value what is valueless as you look around. For what is valuable belongs to me. What's valuable is already within me. So it is said and so it is done. Amen. So that brings us to the end of meditation and the second part of the session, which is the lesson. Okay, so yeah, let's just check in with everyone. How's everyone feeling? Up for some text, or want to take a break, or end here today? I don't mind.
I think I'm about done, John.
Yeah, what's everyone's feeling? Christine?
Bedtime.
Yeah, it's 10 o'clock, eh? Elaine?
Well, if everybody else is, I'll just follow them.
Okay, you're all timing out. All right. So I'll send you the. I've almost done the translation of the today's paragraph, today's section. The illusion. It's called the illusion and the reality of love. It's what is it? Let's see. There's 13 paragraphs. It's not. It's not insubstantial. I was sure taking on a 13 paragraph task at this stage, but as I said, I've done the translation and an exact summary, so I'll send that to you so you can read it if you want before you go to bed. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, see you tomorrow. I think yeah, I'll just let you know. I was hoping Sally could run a session tomorrow, so I just need to communicate with her, but I'll let you know in the email and Telegram message tomorrow what the schedule is, what works for everyone. Can you join tomorrow, and what time?
I'm all right tomorrow.
Anytime.
I'll just follow what go with the flow.
Okay.
I'm away tomorrow, John.
You're away anyway, so you're not joining whether it's afternoon or evening.
No, I won't be.
And Christine?
I'm free as it stands now.
Yeah. Okay. So you can do either the earlier session or the later one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So let me. I'll reach out to Sally's. I've just got a whole bunch of proposals to do, and I need to clear a day to see if I can get at least a couple of them out of the way. So I'll let you know tomorrow.
Okay.
Okay, thank you very much. All the best with
All
your
right,
proposal.
thanks everyone. Thanks for joining.
Bye.
Have a good
Bye.
trip, John. Namaste.
Thanks, John. Thanks, Elaine.
I see
Yeah,
you.
have
Are
a
you going
good
to join in the
holiday.
week, or are you going to
Yeah,
join
I
in the
should be
week?
there. I should be there Tuesday.
Tuesday. Okay. Yeah.
I've just got a birthday party tomorrow. That's the thing.
Okay. Okay. So you're not going for another hike yet?
Later in the week we are.
Later.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'll see you before then.
Yeah.
All right.
See you Tuesdays. Bye, Christine.
All right. Christine's gone
Bye.
already. Okay. Thanks everyone. Namaste.
Thank you.
Good
Namaste.
session.
Namaste.
Namaste.
Okay. Bye for now. So, thank you to everyone who joined. John and Elaine, Christine, Kim, good session. If you're watching this and you'd like to join these sessions, just check down below. I've posted a link to join our next masterclass. So just follow that, register, and hope to catch you on the inside soon. Thank you. And namaste, which means the true self, the unattached self, untethered soul, as Michael Singer calls it, in me acknowledges and honors that same true self in you.